So welcome to another Bowie haunt. I'm here in Manchester, a little bit closer to home than the London episode we had recently. And behind me is a venue that is now a hotel, a Radisson Hotel. But back in the day, it was a place I used to go and see shows all the time. Sadly, I never went to see David Bowie there. But I went to see plenty of shows, as I say, and this is a Free Trade Hall.
It could be anything.
There's a flag, and below it says the Free Trade Hall. And so I am waiting here now to meet an old mate of mine, which is Tony Husband, who came here on many occasions, and on, well, at least 3 occasions, as far as I'm aware, saw David Bowie perform. Okay, so I'm here now with my mate Tony Husband. I don't want to embarrass him, but he's the best cartoonist in the world, and he's my oldest mate. So, yeah, hello Tony.
Hello mate.
Love you.
And I don't want to embarrass him, but he's the best disc jockey in the world.
He is a disc jockey, yeah. I think that's what I do. You can see how this is going to go already.
That's Dick, not Dick.
That's fair enough as well. Okay, so you're considerably older than me, aren't you, Tony?
I'm older than you, Mark.
Yeah. So you went to the Free Trade Hall before I did. You can't quite remember what was the first gig that you went to, but you did go and see the Rolling Stones in 1971, didn't you?
I saw them both nights. They played here twice. I managed to get front row tickets both nights. Amazing gigs.
Have you seen the photographs of those shows? Because you can probably see you on the actual shots.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No,
right.
I've not seen those. I'd love to see those, actually.
Okay, all right, then we'll have a look on the internet.
Yeah.
Okay, and so, I mean, I've just been in to have a quick look round, and there's not a lot in there that bears any resemblance to what we will remember. But we're going to go in and we're going to have a bit of a chat about the Bowie shows that you saw there, and some of the other things that you saw.
Yeah, I saw Beefheart, Soft Machine, loads.
What was the best show you ever saw there, do you reckon?
I think there's a Captain Beefheart show. The Stones' second night was amazing. A Soft Machine gig with Rob Wyatt on drums, I remember that really well. I saw Fairport Convention here, they were fabulous. Came to see Free, and we stood outside and they said it's been cancelled because Paul Kossoff had broken his leg falling down some stairs, and that's why I never got to see Free. But lots of great gigs here. Canned Heat were brilliant. I remember seeing Canned Heat here.
Right, okay. You also went for a drink round the corner at what was, we believe, was Cox's Bar, and I used to go in there beforehand, and who was in there at the time?
Well, Who is that was really good.
Very good.
The Who was in there. I went in there when I worked in Manchester, advertising agency. He was doing a gig. I'd just stay in town, wait for my mates to come. So I'd go to Cox's Bar, have a few drinks, and I sat there. And John Entwistle walks in and sits down 2 tables away from me. So he nods at me. He has a double brandy and something else, and he stayed there till about an hour on his own, just reading the paper. And then Keith Moon and Pete Townsend walked in and sat there. By now the pub's full of Who fans. So they're all going over asking for autographs and just shaking hands. I was too shy. And then we went and saw the gig. Roger Daltrey didn't, because he didn't travel with the band apparently, because he didn't like them.
Right.
But it was just, just nice to see a band just being normal and okay. I wasn't a massive Who fan, but they were a great live band, obviously.
Yeah, I saw them playing live in about 1976, probably at King's Hall in Bellevue. But the thing is that Roger Daltrey had a habit of thumping the other band members, didn't he?
Yeah, he's a bit of a nasty type, I think. There's a clip of him at a football match, somebody asked him a question about Brexit, and he went off on one recently. So I think he's a bit prone to it. So.
Yeah, he is prone to it. I mean, he used to always go around thumping the band. In the 60s, they kicked him out at one point because he kept beating them up.
Yeah,
anyway, it's not about the Who, it's about David Bowie, isn't it?
No.
So, all right, let's go into the Free Trade Hall as was.
Let's see some ghosts.
Absolutely. Okay, so here we are in a bar within the old Free Trade Hall, the Radisson Hotel on Peter Street in Manchester, the site of the Peterloo Massacre, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And just over the road is the amazing Albert Hall venue as well.
Yeah, it's one of the great venues.
Yeah, it's strange because that place was laid dormant for like 50 years, and then somebody stumbled across it. It's just a bit of a weird story, but an amazing venue.
Yeah.
But this place, okay, so we've worked out that my first gig here was T-Rex, and then it was Mick Ronson, and then Lou Reed, and then it all turned into one big melee. And I was going here for years and years, never got to play here. The Four played here after they kicked me out, but I would love to have played here. But like I say, I got backstage with Alternative TV at a Chameleons gig. So what was the first time that you saw Bowie here?
The first time was when he was with Tyrannosaurus Rex, and he was doing this weird mime thing, and he came on, and it didn't go down that well, to be honest, because he was like, I know they were all hippies and it was all, lots of dope around and incense and batuta oil, but it was too political. It was like about Red China, I think.
It was the Tibetan monks, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was about the Red Guard and everything. But in those days, Mao Zedong was very popular amongst hippies, and they all had the Red Book and everything, and it was they used to quote it.
Right.
So David comes on, sort of really saying he was a nice guy, and they're all like booing him.
Yeah.
Like,
the great story is I can't remember who it was who said it. It might have even been Roy Harper. Oh no, was it Ian Hunter? It was Ian Hunter, I think, who said that he'd seen him doing it.
Yeah.
But he said, and he went down really bad. He said, but the queue of girls outside the dressing room was amazing.
Oh, really?
So the girls still liked him, but the blokes didn't. And obviously, there probably were a lot more blokes at those gigs.
Oh, they were, and they're all wearing greatcoats. I had an army greatcoat on.
Yeah, of course you did.
And with all them, this guy comes out doing all this mime thing, which I used to do as a child.
You're very good at it. Yeah, obviously, brilliant.
Yeah, that's like stopping the girls coming like that.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah.
The funny thing is also like John Peel, he didn't really like Bowie's music at that point in time. Anything he'd done before, he wasn't keen on. But the funny thing is that he went up to Bowie on that tour because he was a compare, wasn't he, John?
Yeah,
and then John was our friend.
Yeah.
And John went up to him and said, "Look, I think you should stick to the music, mate."
Oh,
he didn't
really?
even like the music, but he told him that he should drop the mime.
Oh, wow.
That's a true story.
Yeah, I didn't know that. No, that's great.
So you saw the mime show?
I saw the mime show, but what I did miss out the night before, he turned up at the Magic Village, which is the club I used to go to in Manchester on Cromford Court, which is now part of the hideous Arndale effect. And it was just a brilliant place, and I saw so many bands there: Jethro Tull, Groundhogs, Floyd. I saw Tyrannosaurus Rex there, and I remember me and my mates just sat talking, and to Mark Boland, and he was telling us he's staying in the hotel on Piccadilly, and he was telling us about his time as a warlock for a White Witch in Paris, how he used to mix his spells,
right?
And he was telling us all about this. And Stevie Peregrine Took was sat at the side of us. He was tripping on acid, obviously acid, but talking to a paper plate. And Mark's going, "Stevie, can you play later? Can you play?" And he's got his bongos there as well next to him, or little ones. And he goes, "Yeah, oh, he can play."
Just showing he can play the bongos. They're not difficult anyway, are
no.
they?
And then he got talking to the plate again. And it was just like, and then Mark Boland goes up on stage. But the great thing about the village was there used to be bands used to play, and it used to drip. The men's toilets upstairs used to drip on the bands, and you got all the pipes leaking, all going, not the pipes.
So Bowie went there the night before.
Bowie went there the night before, and the story is he turned up, and they didn't know who he was, and they just said, "I'm David Bowie, and can I play?" Or Roger Eagles said I could play. So they said, "I've never heard of you, David Bowie." So they went and got Roger Eagle, and Roger came down and said, "Yeah, he's playing." And the story was he got a guy on, a local guy from Bolton playing that night, and Roger Eagle said, "You can't play." And David Bowie's here, and he said, all my friends are here to watch me play. He said, "Well, you're not playing." We've got David Bowie, and he's better than you.
Fair enough. Here's a story as well. A guy who used to work with Tony Michaelides. His girlfriend was waiting for him down on Market Street on that night. And Bowie went up to her, "No, would you like to go for a drink?" She said, "No, I'm waiting for my boyfriend." Now she can probably be seen wherever she is kicking herself. No offence to Tony, of course, but that's just another story from that particular night. But there was just a lucky handful of people there, weren't there?
Yeah. I remember getting, there was about 30 people there, and there's a guy who I knew way back then who was the cloakroom guy, and he took David's coat and charged him sixpence. So he said, "I get David Bowie gave me sixpence." That's his claim to fame.
Right, okay, so you saw
really.
Yeah, so that was 1969, wasn't it, when Bowie did that tour with Tyrannosaurus Rex?
I've seen him at play with Humble Pie before that, but to be honest, I don't remember much about that gig because we'd been in the pub all day and we went there. I remember nearly getting in a fight with someone who was shouting abuse at David Bowie, but I don't remember much about the gig.
Right.
That was at the Old Gin in Manchester.
Yeah, that's
and
gone
Humble
now.
Pie, that's gone into it, So Humble Pie were the band at the time, you know.
Well, of course, Peter Frampton was his school mate anyway,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
he was, wasn't he? Yeah. So there was Stevie Marriott, obviously Peter Frampton, I don't know who else was in the band, but they were a great band, but I don't remember much about the gig. And then
Bowie just did do it acoustic though, like
yeah,
on his own,
yeah,
right? Okay,
yeah. So it wouldn't go down well with a load of drunken rock humble pie fans who were quite notoriously raucous.
Right.
But you know, so I saw him there, and then I saw him then I saw him again at the with Tyrannosaurus Rex, and then the famous gig here where he played that night.
Is it so? 1972 now on the Ziggy tour, is that right?
Ziggy tour, yeah. And I've been following him for ages because it was John Peel playing Memory for a Free Festival.
Right.
And I just love that song, absolutely adore that song. And I just went out and bought everything about from David Bowie, wasn't much then, and that was in '68. So I got his new album with the one with the painting on the front with him with curly hair. And,
Yeah.
and then there was a double one I got with Laughing Gnome on it.
Images.
Which my granddaughter Daisy, who's 4, when she comes round, it's Alexa play Laughing Gnome by David Bowie.
Well, he wrote it for children in the first place, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
You got there in the end, David.
Yeah, you got yeah. So it's lovely that the tradition carries on in the family.
Yeah, great.
I really love that. And so I'd obviously been following David's career then, listened to everything I could, and you know, like it was like you were a part of a small club, the David Bowie club, and he was like yours. You know, when something's something special, no one else knows about him, and
we talk about this in the podcast actually because it happened quite a lot. It happened with Motley Hoople as well. So when they started having hits, all the old hairy ass bikers didn't like it anymore.
No.
They'd lost their band.
Yeah.
Even Mick Jones from the Clash said that a little bit. So all these people who used to go see Motley Hoople when they were, you know, playing at universities and stuff, when they ended up playing them at the Opera House when I went to see them, when they were on Top of the Pops, they hated it.
Yeah.
And we're talking about people who must have been at, like, you know, those Bowie shows, particularly the ones after he cracked it, because they'd not cracked it when you saw him.
no, there's not many people in the audience.
But by the time he played, and you saw him later on, we'll talk about that, but by the time that you saw him at the Hard Rock, he had cracked it. And there must have been quite a lot of people there who were like you, had seen him early on and thought, what the hell was going on? All these girls screaming, you know, it's like he's a pop star.
I'm men.
Yeah, man, yeah.
But I mean, that gig when I said to Paul, I rang Paul, I said, Bowie's playing, do you want to go? And he'd not really heard of him. But we used to go to gigs, there was about 4 of us went to gigs, and Paul said, well, I'll come with you. So I went down to Lewis's in Manchester, which is now Primark.
Yeah.
And on the first floor, again...
There's a ticket store, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's a ticket store, yeah.
Bizarre.
And I went up there, and there's a guy in a suit, little guy, bald guy, in a suit and tie, and I said, Ziggy Stardust, please, and the Spiders from Mars. And I said, and he had this big plan. He said, help yourself, you're the first. And it's like, oh. That didn't mean much at the time, but it kind of felt proud. And I thought, where can I sit? I've got all this auditorium, 2,500 seats, and I got 2 seats in the circle. I thought the mate will be really pleased with that. I just presumed it'd be rammed.
Right.
So
You'd still be better off at the front row in the stalls, Tony.
yeah, no, I could have been there, man. And so the night comes, dead excited. We come down, go to the Cox's bar, a few drinks, come in. I thought I might got the wrong night. There's nobody here. It's like, and I saw some girl and you had recognised, and she's, you know, talking to her, and then she said, where you sat? And I said, the circle. She said, oh, right. That didn't sound really great. So me and my mate went upstairs and looked around. I think there was one chap on his own. At the top, he had a beard. And then a couple who were sat there. And then me and Paul sat on the very, so we could lean on the balcony. And I thought we could lean forward and stuff and get really close.
Yeah. You're only 30 yards away there, right?
And then we look down, and you just see a smattering of people downstairs, and then he comes on. I can't remember what the support was, if there was a support, I don't remember. I should know that.
It would have been that Tucky Buzzard, would it? You ever see them with him? Maybe not.
I mean, Greasy Bear did a lot of support, and managed to bank on Greasy Bear.
Right.
That actually PC
Fumble played with him a lot, actually. I don't know if it would have been Fumble.
Fumble as well. Fumble played with him a lot, sounds a bit. Anyway, so me and my mate, so he comes on, and everybody just rushes the stage. So he's playing and the band's playing, they're like hot as you can imagine. And Paul's going Tony, what the F have you done? Why were you up here? So I said, well, let's go down. So I went to the door and this guy said, no, where are you going? So I said, down there. He said, you don't have tickets for down there. So I said, he said, like, your tickets? I said, no, but. And he said, no, you've got to stay where you are. So we went back and I saw David hang. I remember a few things about that night, even the music. I remember him going to the mic and banging his tooth on the mic,
Right.
and the rest of the show kept feeling his suit. It's daft things we remember, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
He just turned around and walked to the mic, and the mic hit him in the mouth. And he was, I think, whether he loosened the tooth, I don't know, or chipped it. Then he gave his guitar away, and Paul's like staring at me. And then he was.
Do you know the story about the guitar?
Yeah, there's a guy waiting outside for it back.
No, it was, I believe it was Chris Seavey who got the guitar off Bowie.
Oh, was it?
Now, Chris Seavey is, or was, an old friend of ours. You might know him as Frank Sidebottom, you might not. But Tony was the editor of a kids comic called Oink. And Chris, Frank Sidebottom, was a big contributor. So an old friend of ours, and that story came out years later, that it was Chris Seavey who was in the audience, and he got the guitar, strummed it for a bit, and then did a roadie come and get it off him?
Yeah, that's what I heard, because a friend of mine who's a record collector who was going to do John Peel's, he's got this huge record collection, and I forget his name now, and he worked for a PR company in London that I did cartoons for. And he came to look at my record collection because I got some quite rare ones. And he said if there was an NSPCC for records, he'd ring them and tell them about me.
If you play them, you don't
play them, and I used to put the covers on the walls in the bedroom.
All right.
So the Stones' first albums were all scratched to it. And then I got Man Who Sold the World with the dress, you know, so I had that.
Yeah.
I had the original of that. I think I was the only first one to buy that in Manchester. So yeah, I was trying to remember what that was about. So we were upstairs, and then this guy said, he was telling me about it, and he said that when they went outside with the guitar, they were there saying, "Can we have it back, please?" Because we can't afford to give a guitar away every night.
Yeah, sure, right.
And so he got the guitar back. But he was carried around on someone's shoulders. Now, whether that was a fan or a roadie, I don't know. But we missed the fun. We missed being part of it. I could have touched Bowie.
The story is about him being lifted up and all that, is that he was always, apparently, or he tried on several occasions to emulate, you know, the great shot of Iggy when he's in Detroit, I think it is, and he's walking through the crowd and he puts a peanut butter on him and all that. He stood on people, he's like, they've got his feet, and he really wanted to emulate that because nobody really knew about Iggy, and it was such an iconic moment, and he tried to do it, but it never quite came off. You know?
It was just like right around someone's shoulders like a piggyback.
Yeah, it was not quite the same.
Not sexy, really.
So then, a little bit later on, so you didn't come to the show in was it June? It was June 1973 when he did 2 shows here in one night. You didn't come to those?
No, sorry, I did. I came to one of those.
Did you really?
Yes, sorry, I forgot about that.
He did a matinee and then the later show.
Yeah, I did the later show. So yes, that. I knew I'd seen him 3 times here, and that was an amazing show as well. But again, sold out. And then the next one was at Hard Rock.
And that was before. The way it went was the Hard Rock. He played 4 times in 1972.
Right.
So I think it was like September and December. He did 2 nights, I think.
Right.
And then it was in the June of '73 on that last tour that he played here.
Right. Well, I saw him then.
Right.
After the Theatre Hall, because you get confused with.
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, it is. So I saw him at the Hard Rock, and that's when there was about 3,000 people there.
Yeah.
And I just thought, who are these people? What there? This is David. It's my David. You know, who are these?
You've been on top of the pops, haven't you?
Yeah, and I'm like shouting at them, saying, "Leave!
Get off my land!
Get off my land! Leave my man alone!" But then, obviously, you know, good luck to him. He has to make up a few quid, and
he did make a few quid eventually, didn't he?
He shouldn't have to worry about me.
No, I'm sure he wasn't unduly worried.
He rang me, he said, "Tony, playing Hard Rock, I know it'll upset you."
Yeah. He ran it past you.
He ran it past me, and I said, "Right, David, I understand.
That's typical Dave.
You've got a family to keep." So
there you go. Right, okay.
So I'd totally forgot about that. So that was after the Hard Rock, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah. So I have seen him here 3 times.
I know more about your life than you do.
I know. It's like unfolds. It's like I knew I'd seen him somewhere. I was thinking, where else was it? But it was here. That was it. I was thinking, where else in Manchester would I see him? And it was back here. I saw the evening show which again was amazing, and that was great. It was really amazing. So the other place I went to where he was playing was Glastonbury. I was there, and
Did you see him?
no, because
It was 5 o'clock in the morning.
5 o'clock in the morning, and I was looking forward to seeing him, and I didn't realise what time he was on because the information wasn't that great. You know, you'd have to go and ask somebody, and they say I don't know. And I was asleep, and I woke up, and Paul said, "Boy, he was brilliant." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "He was on at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock." I said, "Why didn't you wake me?" He said, "Well, you're fast asleep." So I think he got his revenge on me not having his. No, that'd be after.
That was
be
before.
after.
Yeah, that was
I don't feel bad now about the circle.
Glastonbury first, and
Yeah,
then
because he was on, and Terry Reid was on, played an amazing set, and I think it was Traffic with the main band. So there's about 3,000 people there at Glastonbury.
Right.
That was very hippie. You know, we didn't pay to get there. We just turned up, just sat in the field, getting stoned and stuff.
you didn't take drugs, did you?
No, we got them there.
This is a sting, actually. I'm not interviewing you for cheap things. This is a sting, and I am
No.
going to arrest you, Tony. If you'd like to come this way with me.
No, I was lying. No, I didn't take drugs. I got them there.
Very good. Right, okay, well, on that note, cheers, brother. Bye, everyone. Say bye, Tony.
Bye,
everyone.
I know going to one festival just quickly. I think it's going to remember what we want, but I took time off work and rang in to say I was ill. And we walked through the door of the BBC North were there asking when they
You were on telly.
we want telly. People at 6:30 on the news, and it made it worse. The commentator, whoever it was, just said there's a lot of drugs in this site, and Paul said, my mate Paul again said, "I've got some drugs."
You want some?
Yeah, and he said, "You've got some drugs." He said, "I've got some acid." And the guy said, "Oh wow!" And the camera just zoomed in on Paul. He said, "Do you want one?" So he said, "Yeah. What does it look like?" So he had a bag of acid drops. And the guy said, "Oh bloody hell!" He said, "I thought we had an exclusive." So he'd got a bag of acid drops with him for some reason. But the next weekend, on the Monday, I went into work and the guy just said, "Yeah, you look pretty good on television, Tony." To say you were dying with whatever you had.
People get caught out on social media now, but you got caught out on the local news
Local
programme.
news, yeah.
Bit of class.
Yeah.
All right, pal. Well, thanks for your time as
Thank you,
always.
mate. It's been great.
Yeah, I was really good, I thought.
Well, look at me now.